The Devil's Gambit. One day, the legendary Muslim general Khalid ibn al-Walid sat down for a meeting with his Roman counterpart. The terms were simple. No one else in the room, just two opposing commanders, face to face, seemingly in a sincere diplomatic effort. But behind this handshake was a sinister plot. Hidden nearby, 10 elite Roman horsemen lay in wait, ready to charge at a single command and cut down the sword of God. It was a perfect death trap, with zero chance of escape. So what happened in that fateful meeting? How were the tables turned at the last possible second? Let's dive into this incredible true story from the beginning. The bloody battlefield. This all went down during the Battle of Ajnadayn, a brutal two-day clash between the Romans and the rising Muslim army. Khalid ibn al-Walid commanded 32,000 Muslim soldiers. Opposite him, the Roman general Vardan led a massive force of 90,000. Despite being outnumbered almost 3-1, the smaller Muslim army completely overwhelmed the Romans on the first day of fighting. Thousands of Roman soldiers fell and their lines were shattered. As evening fell, both exhausted armies agreed to a truce and returned to their camps. While the common soldiers rested, Vardan called a war council with his top commanders. They were in shock, trying to figure out what went wrong and how they could possibly defeat the Muslims. One of his commanders came up with a treacherous idea. The real strength of the Muslim army, he argued, is the brilliant leadership of Khalid ibn al-Walid. If we can kill him, their morale will break. Assassinating Khalid is our top priority. Then he laid out a cunning plan. Send a message to Khalid that we no longer wish to fight. Propose a one-on-one peace talk between you and him tomorrow morning in the no-man's land between our armies. Meanwhile, we'll hide 10 of our best horsemen behind that nearby hill. When you give the signal, they'll charge in and kill him. Vardan loved the idea. Though it was a complete violation of the rules of war, he was desperate. He agreed instantly and swore everyone in the room to secrecy. The messenger and the sword of God. After dismissing his council, Vardan summoned a trusted aide named David, a man with close ties to the Roman Emperor Heraclius himself. Go to the Muslim camp, Vardan ordered. Tell Khalid there has been enough bloodshed and we should discuss peace. Urge him to meet me alone at dawn. David was stunned. This went directly against the emperor's explicit orders to crush the Muslims and drive them back into the desert. He initially refused. He had no idea about the assassination plot. Unwillingly, Vardan had to let him in on the secret plan. When Khalid arrived alone, 10 hidden soldiers would ambush and kill him. Hearing the full plan, David's hesitation vanished, and he set off for the Muslim camp. Upon arriving, David was brought before Khalid ibn al-Walid. The Muslim general, a towering man of 6 feet with a powerful muscular build, fixed him with an intense gaze. Khalid's face was that of a man who had won countless battles, and his sharp, piercing eyes could intimidate anyone. David felt completely helpless. "I come not as a warrior, but as a messenger of peace," he stammered. Khalid stepped closer, looking him straight in the eye. "Tell me the truth," he said in a hard, low voice. "If you tell the truth, you will walk out of here alive. If you lie, you will be destroyed." Shaking, David pushed down his fear and delivered Vardan's message, insisting that his general was truly heartbroken by the violence and sincerely wanted to negotiate a peace treaty. Khalid wasn't impressed. He smelled a rat. His long life as a warrior had taught him to be suspicious of everything. He stared at David again and said, "If there is any deception in your commander's proposal, know this. We know how to rip out treachery by its roots." David assured him it was a genuine offer. "Then tell your commander this," Khalid declared. "If he is sincere, there will be no peace without you paying the jizya, a tax for non-Muslim protection. And if you think you can bribe us with wealth to leave, remember this: we can take that wealth from you by force in battle. We are not here for your charity." With that, David left to return to his camp, with Khalid's unyielding gaze burning into his back. Khalid knew something was wrong. A change of heart. As David walked away from the Muslim tents, Khalid's powerful words and unshakable confidence echoed in his mind. He began to think deeply. The way the Muslims fought, their string of victories against the Romans, it became clear to him that this plot wouldn't save the Roman army. In fact, it was doomed to fail. He realized Khalid was right. Before he had gone very far, David made a life-altering decision. He turned around and walked straight back into the Muslim camp. He confessed the entire assassination plot to Khalid, even revealing the exact location where the 10 Roman horsemen would be hiding. In return, he begged for protection for himself and his family. Khalid promised to keep them safe, but on one condition: "You must keep this conversation a secret. Don't let your general or anyone else know that the plot has been exposed." David agreed. Returning to the Roman camp, David told Vardan only what he was supposed to, that Khalid had agreed to the meeting. Vardan was overjoyed. Tomorrow, he gloated, the sun will rise for Khalid for the very last time. Meanwhile, Khalid was pacing in his tent, a thrill running through him. He initially thought about going alone to face Vardan and his 10 ambushers, creating a legendary tale of heroism. But he wisely decided to consult with another senior commander, Abu Ubaidah. After hearing the plan, Abu Ubaidah immediately objected. "No, that's far too risky. We should set our own trap. For their 10 men, we'll have our own 10 ready." Khalid agreed and summoned the famously fierce warrior Dirar ibn al-Azwar, known for often fighting semi-shirtless. Khalid explained the situation and told him, "Choose 9 of your best men. Tomorrow morning, position yourselves ahead of the main army and be ready. The moment you see those traitors emerge from behind the hill, charge. Let none of them escape alive." But Dirar had an even bolder, more thrilling idea. "Commander," he said with a grin, "give me permission. Let me and my men go to that hill tonight. We'll find the hidden Romans and kill them in the dark. In the morning, when Vardan gives his signal, he won't see his assassins riding to his aid. He'll see death itself." Khalid loved the idea. He gave Dirar the green light. The climax. Just after midnight, Dirar and his 9 warriors crept toward the hill. They moved with extreme caution, circling wide to approach from the rear so the Romans wouldn't spot them. Dismounting from their horses, they advanced on foot. Even in the pitch-black darkness, they located the hidden Roman soldiers, and as silently as cats, they fell upon them from behind and killed every one of them. Then, in a stroke of genius, Dirar and his men put on the dead Roman armor and uniforms. Then they waited for Vardan's signal. The next morning, Vardan rode out, dressed in ornate armor with a jewel-encrusted sword, looking every bit the proud general. Khalid rode out from the Muslim lines to meet him. Vardan didn't even pretend to talk about peace. Believing Khalid was a dead man walking, he began to mock him and the Arabs, sneering at their poverty and hunger. "You represent a people who can barely find food to eat or clothes to wear, yet you come to fight us?" he scoffed. Khalid's patience ran out. He roared like a lion. "Listen, you dog of Rome, we are not here for your pity. Either accept Islam or pay the jizya. This is your last chance." When Khalid finished speaking, Vardan sprang. He tackled the Muslim general, grabbing him in a bear hug to prevent him from drawing his sword. Then he screamed to his hidden men, "Come, by the grace of the cross, I have captured the general of the Arabs." On cue, 10 horsemen appeared over the crest of the hill, charging at full gallop. For a split second, sheer terror gripped Khalid. He was expecting his own men,
But the riders were all wearing Roman armor. He thought Dirar had failed, that he had fallen into a trap himself. His mind raced, trying to figure out a way out of an impossible situation. But his dread lasted only a moment. As the riders got closer, the look of terror vanished from Khalid's face and appeared on Vardan's. The Roman general saw that the man leading the charge was none other than Dirar ibn al-Azwar, the man Vardan himself had nicknamed the Naked Devil. Vardan understood instantly. His own trap had closed in on him. He let go of Khalid and tried to scramble her his horse, but it was too late. Dirar and his men, swords drawn, had him surrounded. In a pathetic voice, Vardan looked at Khalid and pleaded, "O Arab commander, I beg you in the name of your Lord, don't let that devil have me. Kill me
yourself." Khalid replied coldly, "Your fate is in his hands." He nodded to Dirar. In a flash, Dirar's sword swung and Vardan's head was severed from his body. The sight of their general's decapitated head being hurled into their ranks sent a wave of pure panic through the Roman army. Their will to fight completely evaporated. The Muslims launched an all-out assault. The Romans, despite their vast numbers, broke and fled like, as the Holy Quran says, a herd of terrified wild donkeys fleeing from a lion.